Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be returning to a topic that I have talked about at length, but now we actually have more updates. So we're going to be talking about Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow. Now, if you have no idea who I'm talking about, I'm going to link all my prior videos below. There's a lot of confusion and there's a lot of death that surrounds these two people, so I really would suggest watching those videos to get the full picture. But if you don't want to do that, what you need to know right now is that Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell are a married couple. They had two children, Tylee and then JJ, and basically those children went missing. Later on, we found out that they were dead, which many people suspected because while their children were missing, Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell went on vacation to Hawaii instead of trying to help the police with their investigation. And throughout the investigation, they were not helpful at all. And then the bodies of their children were found, and that basically brings us to where we are now. But like I said, this is a very simplistic overview that I'm giving you. I'll link all my other videos with more information down below. So a few days ago, articles started coming out discussing what was going to happen in the case of Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow. So the main headline that got people very angry, and rightfully so, is Lori Vallow Daybell, accused of killing her two children, ruled unfit for trial. So apparently she was ruled as unfit for trial by an outside psychologist, and a stay was ordered Thursday in the cases against her. Obviously, this is the defense's tactic to try and, I don't know, waste time, I suppose. Prosecutors contested the ruling that Daybell is, quote, not competent to proceed, and Fremont County Judge Stephen Boyce wrote in his stay order that a hearing would be scheduled over the dispute. Until the issue can be resolved, the stay will remain. Daybell was charged this week with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder, among other felonies, but her initial court appearance was delayed. In the brief hearing, Judge Farron Eddins did not elaborate on his decision to delay her initial appearance. Daybell was previously charged with felony counts of concealment of evidence and conspiracy to conceal evidence. Now, you remember how I said that people just seem to die around this couple? That is not an exaggeration. That's really what I think was one of the first red flags for me, because in case you haven't seen the prior videos or in case you need reminding, Chad Daybell's wife died of unknown reasons when she was healthy. She apparently died in her sleep for unknown reasons. I believe her body was being exhumed to see more because it was suspicious, because 2 weeks after, he was basically already with Lori Vallow. Another interesting thing to keep into note is that Lori Vallow had very particular religious beliefs and even thought that she was the second coming of the Christ, basically, and there's a lot of doomsday narratives in what she and Chad obviously believe. And then her brother killed one of her ex-husbands in quote-unquote self-defense, and then her brother died of natural causes, again at a young age, with no health reason behind it. So when I say people die around this couple, it's very real and very intense. And so it's not only going to be about their children, it's also going to be about Tammy Daybell and potentially her ex-husband and potentially her brother. So in his order, Boyce wrote that Daybell's case had been stayed since March 8th after the court ordered that she undergo a psychological evaluation, and the findings of the evaluation included a recommendation that Daybell receive restorative treatment. I don't know what restorative treatment is. I don't know what the function is going to be of that. Like, I know what restorative means, but I don't really know how exactly that will work here. I think that's something we just have to wait and see. But this is a big part of why people were angry, because it just seemed like a way to not get around the law, because hopefully there is no way that either Chad or Lori can do that, but it seemed like a way to keep delaying a process when the majority of the public has already decided or has already ascertained that they are guilty. In one of my prior videos, I even included a part of their phone calls while in jail, and it's extremely suspicious. Just the fact that parents would go on a vacation when their kids are missing, to me, screams guilt. And as I said, there are a lot more details, but if we want to go on a basic version, just that to me says that there's guilt there. Prosecutors in Idaho say Daybell and her new husband, Chad Daybell, conspired to and murdered Daybell's 2 children, Joshua J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, 17, in September 2019, justifying their decision with their religious beliefs. And I have a video discussing that as well with the religious belief thing, which is a lot, so you should look into that. The couple is also facing charges in the death of Daybell's former wife, Tammy Daybell, who died the next month. So like I said, when I say that these people are enveloped with death, it really seems like at every turn, anyone who has anything to do with them, who's close enough, dies or disappears and then is found dead, which is why it's so aggravating to kind of see them have more time given to them or have them seen as needing psychological treatment, which I'm sure they do need the treatment, but at the same time, it's like you should be on trial now, like not pushing this psychological treatment so your trial goes further and further and further into the future. Lori Daybell may also face charges in Arizona in connection with the death of her former husband, Charles Vallow. Vallow was fatally shot by Lori Daybell's late brother, Alex Cox. Cox claimed self-defense and died in December 2019 in what a medical examiner ruled was natural causes. Cox was also implicated in charging documents released this week in the deaths of JJ, Tylee, and Tammy Daybell. Charles Vallow had sought a divorce from his then-wife, citing her doomsday religious beliefs. The Daybells could face life in prison or the death penalty if convicted. So though now it seems like we're not going to have immediate results due to the psychological evaluation and so on and so forth, I do think it's good news that both Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell are going to be investigated for the deaths of Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy Daybell, and then also Lori Vallow for her ex-husband, and then her brother as well, because the common denominator with all these people, apart from her ex-husband who was shot in quote-unquote self-defense by her brother Alex Cox, we have 2 young, and as far as we know, as far as what the media has put out, healthy people who died of natural causes. It's hard for me to believe that they died of natural causes, and it's hard for me to believe, especially considering Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell's religious beliefs that essentially were vilifying their own children. I can put in a clip from one of my past videos, but basically Lori Vallow was referring to her children as zombies. So this is from the East Idaho News. Lori Vallow, our main character, Chad Daybell, her 5th husband. So now new people that are coming in. There's Melanie Boudreau Pawlowski, which is Lori's niece. Melanie was married to Brandon Boudreau before he filed for divorce last year. So Brandon Boudreau is only related to Lori Vallow via Melanie. Then there's Ian Pawlowski, who Melanie married shortly after she divorced with Brandon. And then there's Alex Cox, who is Lori Daybell's brother, who I've mentioned before, who died suspiciously in December. Cox killed Lori's 4th husband and admits he and Melanie married faster than any sane couple would, but they both felt it was right. On their wedding night, Melanie began to express concerns about her children. She explained zombies and her fears about what Chad and Lori stated concerning the original spirits being caught in limbo until the body's death, Ian allegedly wrote. She stated that Brandon had been possessed by a demon or another dark entity sometime after June of this year. She was told either through revelation or by Chad that something needed to happen to Boudreau in order for his spirit to progress and for the Lord's plan to continue. She didn't take well the idea of her husband dying as a part of the Lord's plan, but didn't think action would be taken by anyone. Ian allegedly states that things became concerning when Melanie shared the idea that Chad and Lori could have directed Alex Cox, to take a shot at Brandon, but it wasn't anything she was sure about. In the filing, Ian allegedly writes that he and Melanie began discussing JJ and Tylee. At this point, only JJ was considered missing, and Ian writes that Melanie had been told by Chad and Lori that their children had been possessed and had become zombies. She shared concerns that she's been told Brandon needed to die, and that may indicate that Tylee and JJ needed to die as well, Ian allegedly wrote. She told me she was worried that Al may have had to quote-unquote take care of the kids. She explained that Al had great faith and never wavered in his trust in the Lord. No task would be too difficult or too great for him. What I shared with police were the ideas that Chad, Lori, and Alex Alex may have planned shooting at Brandon and that Tylee and JJ may be in serious danger if Melanie's fears have any validity, Ian allegedly wrote. If shooting at Brandon was indeed based on the idea that he was no longer actually Brandon and needed to die as part of the Lord's plan, then the kids' lives could be forfeited based on the idea that they're not really Tylee and JJ anymore. Anyways, guys, you can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.